Big breaking story. We were awaiting this decision by the governor of Karnataka, and that decision has now come in. We are seeing BJP MLAs tweet Suresh Kumar on Twitter saying B.S. Yediyurappa will be sworn in as the Chief Minister of the state at Raj Bhavan tomorrow at 9:30 in the morning. Join a large number of people to participate in this happy holiday. Let's go across now to Sanjay Jha. Sanjay, the Congress and the JDS have maintained that you have the support of 117 MLAs, and by that logic, the governor should invite you as being the largest bloc. But the governor has chosen to go with the single largest party, is what we're given to understand. Your first reaction, Sanjay?
Well, Shirin, the governor is proved to be the political puppet that we expected to happen. This is a constitutional position of the governor. It's supposed to be dispassionate and totally unbiased. But, end of day, this endorses the horse trading culture. We have had a situation today where Mr. Kumaraswamy has gone on record that the Bharatiya Janata Party has been offering 100 crores to JDS MLAs to buy them out. I think this is a serious constitutional crisis we're headed for, because the Congress and the JDS put together have 118 seats along with 2 independents. We have the majority vote share. And by the way, there is a constitutional provision by Supreme Court verdicts that categorically say that the governor cannot make a subjective assessment. On what basis has the governor invited Mr. Yediyurappa to form the government?
Well, Sanjay,
I think this matter will go to the courts.
We are given to understand that the governor has consulted with the former Attorney General Mukul Rohatgi. We've also heard from former Attorney Generals like Mr. Soli Sorabji, and both Mr. Rohatgi as well as Mr. Soli Sorabji seem to concur that it is the single largest party and that should be invited, that it would be well within the discretion of the governor to invite the BJP as the single largest party to form the government.
Shirin, with due respects to Mr. Rohatgi and Mr. Soli Sorabji, they have their own political compulsions. Don't forget, they have both served under NDA government. So let us not believe that they have necessarily been very true to what is the true spirit of the Constitution. And let me give you a couple of examples. And number one, where was Soli Sorabji and Mukul Rohatgi when in Goa, Manipur and Meghalaya, the BJP formed the government despite of not being single largest party? Where were they? Hasn't Arun Jaitley gone on record to say there is a precedence of the same? And I have got a Supreme Court verdict.
I know that...
No, I'll quote to you.
No, I know, but their point and their argument and their defense is that the Congress was slow off the block. The Congress didn't even try and stake claim to form government.
Well, let me tell you, Shirin, you answered the question. Here you have a situation where the Congress and the JDS have already staked that they will be able to form the government. We have already mentioned the numbers. Is there in the public domain?
So what now?
We also told it to the governor.
What now, Sanjay?
Well, I'll tell you, Shirin.
Are you going to move court?
Well, let me tell you, Shirin, we are witnessing one of the darkest days in Indian democracy, where the governor is a political puppet. The BJP is playing horse trading. 100 crores up for grabs. Operation Kamal is what they're calling it. And I'll quote to you the Supreme Court verdict, Section 165, in the Rameshwar Prasad versus the Union of India, delivered in 2006. And the Supreme Court verdict says that the governor cannot refuse and override a majority claim made by alliance partners even after the election based on his subjective assessment. That is not the part of the governor. It has to be proven on the floor of the House. This is nothing but a blatant contravention. We will go to the courts and we are 100% confident we'll win.
Sure, I would imagine that you will move court, but what is the strategy that you believe the BJP is likely to exercise? Because Mr. Yediyurappa had yesterday sought 7 days to prove the majority on the floor of the House. They don't have the numbers clearly today. What are you anticipating? In most conversations that we've been having, the view of experts is the BJP is hoping to get at least 15 odd MLAs to abstain, thereby bringing down the number of seats in the assembly, making it easier for the BJP to win the vote. What are you anticipating in terms of strategy for the BJP?
Well, Shirin, this is no strategy. This is the Amit Shah, Narendra Modi model of horse trading. This is what they tried to do in the Gujarat Raj Sabha election. This is what they did in Goa, Manipur and Meghalaya. This is how they bought out an entire government of Arunachal Pradesh. India, I'm telling you, I'm requesting through your channel, the viewers who are watching your program, this is how the BJP under Narendra Modi and Amit Shah is destroying Indian democracy. This was a fractured mandate. The BJP did not get the minimum 50%. If the JDS and the Congress came together, they had a right to form the government.
Sanjay, I'm just going to request you to hang on for a bit, because I've also got Sanjay Hegde, senior Supreme Court lawyer, joining us to give us legal perspective. Sanjay Hegde, you know, the decision is now clear. The governor has decided to invite the BJP. So obviously he's decided to go with the single largest party. He has invited the BJP, and we are given to understand Mr. Yediyurappa will be sworn in at 9:30 tomorrow morning. We've heard from former Attorney General Soli Sorabji, Mukul Rohatgi, saying that the governor would be well within his right to invite the BJP as the single largest party. The Congress, of course, has been presenting the arguments of what played out in the state of Goa, Meghalaya and Manipur. How do you read the development that's just taken place?
Well, the governor has exercised his discretion. To my mind, the discretion was not entirely unguided. The Constitution itself provides guidance. The Constitution says who, in his opinion, he can command the confidence of the House. Now, the governor must have very good reasons to say why he thinks that somebody with only 104 MLAs can command the confidence of the House and not somebody with 117 MLAs. Now, what would be crucial would be to see how much time is given to the government to prove its majority on the floor of the House. I would normally have thought that the governor would have granted them less than a week. Now, I
don't have a confirmation, Sanjay. I don't have a confirmation, but what we are being given to understand, this is, of course, source-based information, so with all the caveats, they may have time till the 27th. We are awaiting official communication, but sources suggest that they may have time till the 27th.
Now, 27th is nearly 2 weeks away. That is an invitation to horse trading and trading of every sort of political animal that is there. If I were to go ahead of the game, I would say that what would be held out would be threats that in case the BJP does not prove its majority on the floor of the House, there would be threats of imposing president's rules, rendering things nugatory. The thing is that there would be the strength to be demonstrated on the floor of the House, and in earlier occasions, I have a long political memory. I remember that when things like this happened, the late N.T. Ramarao in the 1980s took all his MLAs and paraded them across the country. We might look at more interesting times, which may not necessarily be restricted to Bangalore alone.
Right. But Sanjay, you know, you said that if it is indeed 2 weeks and we don't know yet, that is not officially confirmed. That is what sources seem to suggest, that it could be the 27th. That is the time that the governor has chosen to give them to prove majority. But, you know, how do you believe this is going to play out? Because with 104 and with the anti-defection law in place, how do they hope to get the numbers?
There are many ways of inducing people either not to vote on the floor of the House or even to resign their seats and maybe face the electorate later under the BJP label. That is what happened previously. What is of essence in all these situations is time, and who better utilizes time. Now, to keep the flock together, sequestered in a resort, away from all others, that itself is an art form. It was pioneered in Karnataka. As I told you, the late N.T. Ramarao, when he was dismissed in Andhra, then brought his MLAs over to Karnataka, which was then led by the Janata Party under Ramakrishna Hegde. And this is where all this resort politics started. Whoever wants to win this game has to have the nerve to hold on to his entire flock, and each of the members of that flock will be subject to a whole range of both inducements and threats. Are they all strong enough to withstand it? I have my doubts.
Yeah. Yeah. Sanjay Jha, I want you to respond to what we've just heard there from Sanjay Hegde. In fact, as we speak, we have seen buses with Congress MLAs headed to the Eagleton Resort, and a similar picture probably is playing out even when it comes to the JDS, and we're given to understand the BJP also perhaps looking at sequestering its MLAs, given what we heard from Mr. Kumaraswamy earlier this afternoon. But Sanjay, you know, if indeed it is a longer window, whether it's a week or 10 days, we don't know. We're still awaiting official confirmation on that. How hard and how challenging is it going to be for both you as well as the JDS to ensure that you keep your flock together?
Well, you know, Shirin, isn't it a shameful day? I mean, I know that you handle complex business and economic issues on your channel day in and day out, but look at the farce Indian democracy is. That adult elected, representatives of people have to be protected from poaching by the Bharatiya Janata Party, who's going to give them allurements of hundreds of crores of cash or threaten them with income tax or enforcement directorate. But this is what happens when you have Narendra Modi and Amit Shah at the helm of Indian democracy. It's a shame. I think this is a shocking day. Bharatiya Janata Party is perhaps the most repugnant, hypocritical party I have ever seen. They hijacked our government in Arunachal. They did that in Goa, Manipur, and Meghalaya. And they are not willing to concede that when you have two parties coming together, when the BJP is far away from the 50% mark, they are now trying to subvert democracy using the governor, who all knows was a minister in Narendra Modi's government.
Sanjay, just hang in. We've also got Manish Tiwari with us, a lawyer from the Congress party. Manish, we are given to understand that the Congress is going to move court. What is going to be the plea, Manish? What will be the grounds that you take to court?
Well, as we speak, Shreen, some of our colleagues are addressing the press, and therefore I think Mr. Chidambaram would articulate and outline what the political and the legal position, or what the political/legal recourse is going to be. But suffice to say that the governor has acted in an extremely regrettable manner. The governor had a cogent claim of 117 MLAs before him, way past the halfway mark, and the governor, by what has appeared in the public space, has not really dealt with that claim while inviting Mr. Yadurappa to form the government, and so therefore it is obvious that he's chosen to exercise his discretion in a misdirected manner. Has the Congress already
approached the Supreme Court?
Well, you can't approach the Supreme Court without an official communique from the governor, which is the document which will have to be impugned in this particular instance. So therefore, everybody will await the official communique actually coming into their hands before they do decide to impugn it, if at all we do decide to impugn it, because that's something which Mr. Chidambaram will currently or is concurrently outlining as we go ahead with our chat.
Just hang in there, gentlemen.